Hi guys. Hello. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Antichrist. Ooh, scary topic. Um, but basically, most people who've done a lot of studying of Hebrew and the scriptures and every single religion and hidden texts that people don't want you looking at, and the most important part being prayer and and meditation, which is listening, listening to your intuition. It's not some humming and hawing. Well, it's actually more a personal thing. What gets you thinking? Your thinking zoned in, where you're listening to the universe instead of listening to annoying thoughts. So meditation, right? So, anyways, as for the Antichrist, there's all these people, they're looking for the Antichrist. They're like, look, it must be him because he was born here. It's him over there. Well, that guy's so evil, it's gotta be him. And they keep thinking it's all these different people, but it's not. It's the same with the beast, is not a person. It's a it's the whole religious system. The whole system of religion, and by their fruits you will know them. Well, what are the fruits of religion? Well, instead of going within, because that's what Jesus told you to do, the kingdom is within. I'm always talking about this. The truth is in your heart. If the truth is in your heart and the kingdom is within, you shouldn't have to spend an hour a day reading a book when the truth is not in books and it's not in man-made temples. So if you're spending an hour or two a day, like I used to, reading and studying scriptures or listening to religious sermons and then going to church every week and blah blah blah, that's not within you. That's those are things outside of you. So if you were listening to the truth in your heart, for example, say there's a single mom. Well, what happened through church was mothers got completely shunned, completely abandoned by their whole family, abandoned by the community, looked down upon. By who? How did this happen? By the church. The church started this, shunning the single moms and abandoning them and leaving them out in the cold, making them feel ashamed when most of the time it was not their fault that they got pregnant. They didn't shame the guy that raped the girl and just left her in the ditch. They shamed the girl, and then that went passed on to that child. They got no support, none. Where was the support for that girl? And how come? Why was there no support for the girl? How come a single dad would be like a hero and he'd have like 20 people supporting him and helping him? But if you're a single mom, oh my goodness, you were just like the worst person on the planet. It was like you must have been evil or something. But you weren't. That was a religious thing. Religion made people think that. So that's going outside. What would happen though if people were away from the seeing eye of the church, all the seeing eye of the congregation, who's always spying on everyone and virtue signaling and looking down on everyone and thinking they're better than everyone else, and they just waiting for them to fail, that all-seeing eye of religion. Well, what happens when people were one-on-one? How come they'd have to go behind, like in the closet, to help other people? That you have to go behind closed doors and sneak them food, sneak them clothes. And they couldn't do it publicly because they'd be shunned and put down by the church. So religion is the Antichrist. The one that was listening to their heart was sneaking out and sneaking out that single mom some food and some clothes and some encouragement, maybe some toys and books. Those were people who were listening to their heart. They had the kingdom within, because the Antichrist says, look outside, look in this book, follow these rules, follow this indoctrination, follow the peer pressure, bow down to the all-seeing eye of the church. Because if you don't, you're going to be shunned next. Everyone's going to gossip about you, and you won't have all the support. If you're not virtue signaling and going along in freaking church land, then you're out in the cold by yourself. It's not as bad anymore, but it's still pretty bad. That is because the Antichrist is going without. The Antichrist is religion. The Antichrist is the church. And if you go within, listen to your heart, and go within, the kingdom's within, you'll know I'm telling you the truth. Don't listen to all those thoughts, but what will Uncle Joe think? What's Bob gonna say? Aunt Sally is gonna be so disappointed in me. Well, that's the thing. They are that's they are not Christ. Christ is within you. You should not be controlled by what these people think. And they should not be controlled by what the church thinks. They should be listening to their intuition. So, we're way past looking for the Antichrist to show up and all this stuff to happen. We're already past that point. The Antichrist, you've all been bowing to the Antichrist. Anyone who's, I was too. I went to church, I went to religion. We've all done it. Anyways, that's bowing to the Antichrist. That everyone would look up to the Antichrist. Everyone would worship the Antichrist. Everyone would think the Antichrist was the greatest thing in the world. Well, it's not. It sucks. If we're listening to intuition instead of the all-seeing eye of the church and religion and all the other stuff it brought in, then we'd be doing things like the free energy. We'd be making communities and gardening and all those things. But we're not. Because of all the agendas in religion. If you watch my videos, a bunch of my videos on religion in my algorithms hate this playlist, you'll see what I mean. I hope it didn't come out of the gate too hot here. But yeah, I hope I'm making a point, but you've already been following the Antichrist. Everyone, the whole world was deceived. So now it's time for the part where you get out of her, my people. Get out of the false religion and don't let that thinking control you. You got to free your mind. Free your mind. The truth is in your heart. Kingdom is within, and start going with that. And you might have to be alone and isolated for a while, because those people are going to have to come to that truth in their own time. But yeah, if you're looking for the Antichrist, it's already been here for your whole entire lifetime. And the beast is the government system, which was inserted in the Bible through agendas, because we're not supposed to be looking at agendas and indoctrination. We're only supposed to listen to Jesus. Jesus said very few things, and the things that contradict Jesus, you should stop listening to, because the kingdom is within. It's not in many books. It's not in man-made temples. It's in your heart. So anyways, that's I guess all I have to say for today. Because if you were listening to your heart, and if the generations before us were, there would be no such thing as single mothers being abandoned and isolated and all this other garbage. It's just not cool. Not cool, man. And yeah, there would be a lot more support, and we wouldn't. The fruits of the Antichrist, you can see it in this world. It's a torn world. It's time we need to do. Step 1, restore their self-esteem, restore their self-worth, which will lead us to step 2, restore the family, which will lead us to step 3, Restore the community. Once the community is restored, it'll lead us to step 4. United we stand. And then once we're standing united, it leads us to our final goal, which is global freedom. So I hope you enjoyed my video. I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Right now. But I know. I'm still right here. But okay, I will turn it off. Bye. Bye. Bye for now. Bye for now. We might think of something to say and do it otherwise.